Welcome to Continue Mission Radio with Captain James McCormick. By veterans, for veterans. Guest hosts tonight are author Greg Meekin and Miss Val, our military radio gal. Continue Mission starts now.
You got me headed to the left, headed to the right, headed back and forth, but baby, it's alright. You got me going to the east, going to the west, going up and down, cause baby, you know best. All day, all night, running around, I'm never gonna stop because you never settle down. You got me shooting into space, flying at the sun. I'm never coming back, cause baby, you're the
Good morning, America. Good morning, world. It's August 6th, 2025, and this show is coming to you from sunny and hot Arizona. This is another rapid deployment of Continue Mission Radio with Captain James McCormick. I am Val Olson, and I am here today at my kitchen table with Greg Meekin. This is an exciting show because it is the first ever broadcast on, drumroll, the Veteran Channel. Just like Continue Mission, the Veteran Channel is produced by veterans for veterans. So let's light the fuse. Let's buckle up, everyone. Welcome to Continue Mission. Greg Meekin, what is on your heart today?
Val Olson, good morning. What's on my heart? What's on my heart? I want to say something and I want to read something. I'll be pretty quick, but what I want to say is this show goes out to veterans. Okay, this is for you. This is for veterans. Veterans include our military, our law enforcement, our border guys, our first responders, all of you, especially folks that have gone through a 10-7, a final sign-off, and are into the second half of their life. This is for you guys. And I don't know who's out there right now that needs this, but I have a message that came to my heart this morning. It really is to a veteran. I don't know who it is. I just know our reach is enormous as far as U.S. veterans, especially Vietnam guys, Val. So my message is this. It's a little bit serious, but it's important. There are going to be 26 U.S. veterans that kill themselves today. And then tomorrow, it's going to be 26 again. It's whoever who needs really to hear this today. And if it's one guy, that's fine. But the message is, don't you give up. Okay, it's not your time. Don't you give up. It's not your time. Never surrender. That's what Captain James McCormick says. So that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. What I also want to do, I want to read something. This will be quick, but I want to read something, and it's called Vietnam Scared the Bloody Hell Out of Canada. I believe many Canadians kept the same secret I did. The Vietnam War scared me to death. As a kid in Montreal, war really scared me anyways. World War II was still a ghostly rear view mirror for many Canadians. And this new jungle war, with such violent and gross film footage, was a different cat altogether. A really evil and scary cat. And so that comes from that book, Why I Came to America, and what I think now. I happen to have written it 4 years ago, but I wanted to share that, and I say this to Captain McCormick a lot. You'll hear about Captain McCormick a lot on this show, is we ain't nothing compared to you guys. You guys that fought in war, we ain't nothing compared to you guys. I ain't been through that. And I have relatives that have. I had two. I had a grandfather and uncle that never came back from war. but we ain't nothing compared to you guys. Today is for the veterans. Today is for you. And I'm thrilled to be broadcasting on such a large platform today. This is streaming live right now. It's Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, streaming live today on multiple platforms. But what's cool in this next 24/7 over the next week, this show and this channel, which Val will mention in a few minutes here, is going to be replatformed on mega platforms, including television platforms, Amazon TV, Apple TV, etc. So I've kind of given my more emotional than I thought intro. Want to turn it back to you, Val, a little bit, if we can. This is kind of a brand new world for a lot of new listeners and stuff. Why don't you take the microphone for 1 or 2 minutes? Let everybody know why we're here, where, blah, blah, the veterans, all that stuff. You go ahead there, Val.
Well, I just want to honor our veterans and say thank you. And many of them actually are gathering right now. So we want to give a special shout out because it's the opening ceremony of the VBA's National Convention. So they are streaming live from New Orleans. So if you want to check that out, vva.org. And I am just echoing, Greg, what you said this morning. 26 vets die every day here at home. And we have to talk about that. Our army is shrinking and it's unacceptable and it can stop and it stops now. So we are here. We are one big family and it's exciting. We hope that you'll be a part of our regular broadcasts and just know that we are a lifeline right here. And this is for you this morning.
Very nice, Val. We're here for the veterans. We're here for Captain James McCormick, the Purple Heart guys. And so much to kind of get to today. Thank you very much for shouting out the Vietnam Veterans of America. They're rock stars. Okay, they're rock stars. They're on Capitol Hill. Captain James is lobbying for you guys out there. Okay, it's not just talky. It's do. Let's take action. And whether you guys know it out there, boy, I'm talking to the vets today, Val. This must be a veteran show. No matter whatever you think out there are people working for you in Washington, D.C. We've covered this a lot on our previous broadcasts. A lot of folks don't know Val. You and I go back 3 years. Between you and me, Captain McCormick, and the different wonderful shows, Continued Mission, My Secrets from the Inside, and stuff we've done. I think I counted like 125 plus shows together. So this is old news, but it's new news, and it's new news today. And it's new news today that if anyone out there feels that they're not being heard, their voice isn't being heard, especially veterans, I'll tell you what, there's real concerns with cutbacks on their benefits and stuff. I'm not going to get into it because that's James' lane. But if anyone feels they're not being heard right now, Captain James says you are. And I'll tell you, I know for sure he's in D.C. lobbying and rubbing shoulders and glad handing whatever you got to do to get action for our veterans, better medical care, homeless services, financial issues, all that stuff. You are being heard. Captain James McCormick is on the Hill for you. And you got people that McCormick has worked with, like Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth is looking out for you. Secretary Hegseth. And so on that one, and I want to go, it's so funny. I'm going to digress already so early. I want to go over, since we're so early, where we're going to be platformed to on this. And I will actually, I took liberty a little bit, Val. Believe it or not, I wrote some notes. I put it on an actual little notepad today, which is rare for me. And I swiped, I borrowed Miss Deb's little notepad but where we go out to today, this is extra special because indeed this is a Continued Mission radio show, which we've been doing for over 3 years now. And but this is on the Veteran Channel. This is a brand new TV channel. I jotted it down here. Get this, the Veteran Channel. And the founder is Captain James McCormick. He's the founder. He's the head honcho. And you and I basically, Val, are delivering this product for him. We're putting it on air. while he's busy signing autographs in New Orleans at the convention. We are going to be going out in the month of August to Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, Greg's YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble, as well as dozens of other platforms, Val. So it's going to be a blast. Again, this is James McCormick's brainchild, the Veteran Channel. If you've heard of the Weather Channel, this is called the Veteran Channel. And hopefully it'll be a nice little icon on your phone like that. Another conversation for another day. Back to you, Val. Just catch us up a little bit on what we've been doing, what James has been doing and stuff. Take about a minute. Go Val, go Miss Val. Let people know what you're doing in your world as far as broadcasting and media, so people get to know us. There's a lot of folks out here who have never listened to us or are watching for the first time. Go ahead, Val.
Well, you can follow my work on X at Home Media Mom. I spent many years, approximately 25, on mainstream media, and I left mainstream media to really tackle the at-home situation, because I really believe that everything starts at home, and we really can't venture too far out of our comfort or really our control zone if we don't have it together at home. Go figure. And then from there it goes into the community, it goes across our state and our country and beyond. And so, yeah, I decided that that was going to be my focus. And I have a real passion on issues of national security. And so when I was paying attention to what was going on with our vets and losing 26 a day, this really impacted me deeply, because border security is a top security. I mean, it's a top issue. You don't have a country if you don't have borders. So I was just shocked, and I really wanted to get to the root of what's going on and what can be done. And I am so thankful to our Vietnam vets, because that allowed me the platform to reach you, all of you watching. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey ahead. As Greg said, it's it's our first episode here on the Veteran Channel. And don't forget, it is featured all over the place: Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, of course, Greg's platform on YouTube. You can go on his website too, gregmeekin.com, and check out his work there. And I really believe that this is just going to be a signal and a connector where one and all can come. And we don't just talk the talk. This isn't just another spinoff. This really is the home base, the home force, and this is kind of the meeting place. And so we're going to keep you up to date. I always say from my house to the White House, but it truly is, because behind the scenes, we are attending meetings, we are staying in the know, we're following things, and we need to know how you are impacted. So I hope at some point, we don't have it yet, but it would be great if we had like a call line or a way that people could let us know what's going on in their personal lives. Because I don't know about you, Greg, but I am not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of anything. And that goes for information and data. I can just consume a lot.
It's the home front. It's the home
you
front.
can send it.
It's the mama bears. Forget big tough guys out there in the world. It's the mama bears. It's the Rosie the Riveters. It's the you. It's Janelle Lamb. It's Janelle Lamb, the wife of the sheriff. God love you if you ever tried to invade Janelle Lamb's house.
Speaking of Janelle Lamb, Sheriff Lamb's wife, her, you know what? She's busy right now.
Look at that. That is Janelle Lamb, grandma extraordinaire, nana extraordinaire, with baby Jones. Jones was just born a couple months ago, Val. And they are all down, believe it or not, they're all down, including all the grandkids, down in Florida. I think they're in Orlando, so he's going to take them to Disney World. Okay, lock on that photo. This is an exclusive. This is an exclusive to Continue Mission. This is a photo of a sheriff, okay, of an American sheriff when it's not retired. You don't retire. You redeploy. And there's a photo of the Lamb family for folks out there that might not know Sheriff Mark Lamb. Look him up. Okay, he's a legend. He just retired as Pinal County Sheriff down here in Arizona. But he literally is taking a wonderful, wonderful time off in Orlando. There, without further delay, I'm just going to try to name all the folks in the photo, okay? Because this is called family. This is called family time right here. I love it. See the lambs right there. So the little baby on the in Mark's arm, in Sheriff Lamb's arm, okay? That's Liberty. Liberty is not quite a year yet. And then that is Sheriff Mark Lamb. He's the tall one with the ball cap. He doesn't have his cowboy hat on today, so I'm gonna ask him, is there like a Florida cowboy hat? So that's Sheriff Lamb. And then the little one in the yellow. That's so awesome. That is Cohen, Cohen, and Cohen is 6 months. And then we got, of course, the one in the pink mouse ears in the middle, the blonde with the mouse ears. That's Janelle Lamb. That's Janelle Lamb. And in Janelle's other arm is Jones. He's the one sleeping. He's off to the races sleeping. But that's Jones. I just love that. I call him Baby Jones. And that's what's sweet. And the children, that's Ivy. Ivy is 4. And good old Brody is 5 years old. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is family. This is what it's all about. This is when the sheriff's off the radio. And we are all about the home front here. We're all about kiddos. We are all about, what I'm about is fatherhood, mentorship, and in my case, hockey. But that's what you see before us right there. That's the Lamb family. I'll shout out to them. That was definitely an exclusive. Thank you for that, Val. Thank you for that. Back to you, maybe on Janelle Lamb. I'm tired of talking about the sheriff. We will talk about his book, though. But take like a minute and talk coo over Janelle Lamb a little bit, because you did her books. You read her books, as did I, and stuff. But take a minute or so and just coo over Janelle Lamb. It's great.
I did. I read her books. I loved her books.
Yeah.
She has 2 of them. You can find them on her website at thesheriffswife.com. Deeply impactful. This is really a manual for moms today, especially moms who really want to have it together and kind of need a manual a little bit, because it's hard to navigate today. You know, there's just, with the laws, with the changing culture, and she addresses this, but she gets deeply personal and talks about her own journey and the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And so I really connected with it because it's so real and authentic. And it really helped me deeply heal too. I find when people are honest and share their true stories, you can really get stuff out of it to help you move to the next level. So I see it as a roadmap. So I encourage you to check it out. TheSheriffsWife.com is where you can find her books. And so we just wish her and Sheriff Lamb just an amazing time with their family, because that's important, right? Making those memories. And that's the glue that keeps it all together. So yes, all the best to the Lamb family.
Absolutely. And they're from Arizona, so I don't think they have to worry about getting a tan down in Florida. But it's just nice to see them having fun. It's nice to see them having fun. Let's talk a little bit. I want to get not lighter, but I do want to jump to a little bit of a subject of people who are, again, imagine that, veterans or soldiers or whatever. And I'm going to bring up a name here. This is going to be for a future show. Okay. But it's just something that kind of moved me in the last few days. I always say to young people, make sure you talk to older people, because they're like an encyclopedia of history. And it's not a cliche. It's so easy to lose folks before you can chat with them, whatever. And a name came up last week. Thank God for social media, with all its negativity and all the rap that it gets. It has introduced families and people and friends who are able to stay in touch around the world. And kind of belatedly, I heard about someone actually from the 1970s, Val. This is a military story from the 1970s. In high school, in Dorval High School, I had a PE teacher, or as they say up in Canada, a gym teacher, and his name was Chris Siri, Mr. Siri. Again, I'll do I'm going to do another show on this because there's really cool info here. But Chris Siri was he was our PE teacher, very relaxed, cordial guy, as British as the day is long. And if for some reason he became a mentor of mine. Okay, I became a mentor because I was mentor to so many senior guys over the years. But Chris Siri, Mr. Siri, he was absolutely awesome. And I heard his name a couple of weeks ago because he passed away. I believe it's late to the table here, about 2010. But I'd never appreciated who he was. I talked to him a lot back then. I knew he was a military guy. Okay, I knew he was a British Army guy or whatever. But what I found out, and sadly, only learned some of this stuff from obituaries. You know, I'm into the prelegies, write stuff and do tributes while they're still alive. But Chris Siri, Mr. Siri, he had brought to the table in PE class something called the pegboard. And I'll do this in the future where I have an actual photo of the pegboard's still there at Dorval High School. Pegboard is a large wooden board and it's about 10 feet up, nailed to the wall. And like a pegboard, it's got little holes in it. And the pegboard was the most challenging training regimen that I've ever seen. And what it was is you had these wooden pegs. You'd have to jump up to this pegboard and put the wooden peg in and hold yourself and come up and do the other wooden peg in. So it's all armed and very often one arm. And it'll be more fun when we have a photo of this. But I couldn't believe the pegboard was still there from Dorval High. And then you go up it and you go across. And anyhow, it was brutal. There were only 2 people in Dorval High School that could do the pegboard. It was that grueling. One was, of course, me and my dear friend Derek Gatehouse. No one else could. No one else could do it. What do you mean? They couldn't do it. Hang there by one arm, whatever. And even the weightlifting guys and the football guys, they couldn't do the pegboard. I say this because Chris Siri introduced me to it, Mr. Siri. And what I didn't know is Mr. Siri was not only British soldier. He was SAS. He was special ops guy. He was a parachute guy. And he was also an Olympic caliber swimmer. So I'm here. I think he could swim 10, 15, 20 miles, whatever the number is. So he's a Navy SEAL, basically. The mortality rate of his units, because I asked him, they'd parachute him in behind German lines. World War II, everyone. World War II. They'd parachute him in behind enemy lines. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Siri, I remember I'd sit in his office with him. And I said, Mr. Siri, they'd parachute in behind German lines. Did most of you guys get out? And he said, Greg, when you're parachuted in like that, he said, you're lucky if one comes out. The mortality rate was 90% of his unit. But the full circle there is the pegboard was part of the training regimen for British SAS. And I'll tell you something, if you're going to do the pegboard, you're a tough warrior. There's my story. I kind of ranted on that, but I'm going to do a segment on Chris Siri. And unfortunately, he's passed away. So there you go. Val, back to you. I know you weren't expecting that story, but again, there seems to be a theme of veterans today, Val Olson.
Well, that's really interesting, and interesting to learn you were able to do that. So you were kind of like, you must have had the right, genetics or wiring, and you were able to make your way on that pegboard pretty fast. Do you think you could do it today still?
Hell no. It requires strength, Val Olson. No, it was truly a strength thing. And we were teenagers. I'm 15, 16 years old. But all I can say, track record wise, there were only 2 guys in the high school that could do it. But yeah, very interesting. It combines not only your arm strength, because you got to hang by one arm while you place the other and stuff, but coordination, because you have to take the peg out and put it back in. So net of that, could I do it now? Maybe I'd like to try, but I don't think so. But I'd like to. I would try.
There's a lot to do with your mental state too, right? Because you have to be wired and believe that
Way.
you can do this and work through pain
Yep.
and endurance and all of that. I think so much is, held up in our mind of how far we get with things. And that's why we want to have a quality broadcast to meet our vets right where they're at. And it's so important. We can't say this enough. The mission is not done. It's just beginning. And that's why we're here is we are here because we are working and building something. We're unifying around something. And it's very exciting. And when I hear there's 16.9 million vets, we have to reach every single one of them, and we all have to be on the same page. So there is no retirement. There is just retiring, right? You're just putting new tires on it.
Redeploying.
Yeah,
Redeploying.
redeploying,
Retiring. Yeah, I like that.
right?
Retiring.
Wheels or wings, whatever. But we need you, and the fun just begins.
Very good. Well put. And tell you what, we talk retiring. And this will be kind of hopefully just kind of a quick show where today we're giving a lot of updates. There's going to be a lot of announcement and updates. And so if it sounds like that, it's because we literally are informing our brand new listeners and readers, kind of what's going on in the updates. We talked about the veterans. We talked about Captain McCormick being down in New Orleans, and they're going to make waves down there in New Orleans. There's lots of peeps. There's lots of peeps that are going to be helping the veterans. And the other one, and we talked about Sheriff Lamb, and I don't want to sound like a PR guy for something. I guarantee I'm not a paid PR guy. We're just friends. But he just went through retiring, being a sheriff, being a sheriff. And this applies to a lot of the Vietnam guys, and a lot of the older guys. When you retire, it's called a 10-7. That's in law enforcement, that's your last final sign off. 10-7. And Mark did that. And his question, which he has a brand new book out, oddly called 10-7. I mean, right there, 10-7. This is really, really cool. But it really is encouraging folks that are coming to the end of their career or their end of, again, their shift or whatever, of what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? He's very pro-business. He believes in entrepreneurship, that's the ultimate freedom. But obviously being an entrepreneur, not working for other people, but whatever it is, once you do retire, so often, especially men, especially veterans who can be really beat up. They don't think they have value. They don't know what to do next. They're at their end of their shift, if you will. And that's the key. That's where we don't want to lose you guys. It's where Sheriff Lamb doesn't want to use you guys. And it's, what have you gathered? What have you garnered in your life? What's your body of work? What's your checklist, your Ives list? I've done this, I've done that. And it very often is amazing, especially as an older guy. And this really is directed to really guys, I'd say like 40 and over, where what do you do next? And the key is what a resource you are as an older person, because you have all those tools and experiences behind you. And also there's cool, like little checklists and stuff of what to ask yourself and how to motivate yourself, just how to quantify who you are, quote, as a veteran of life, from the School of Hard Knocks, a Rosie the Riveter, a Val Olson, about 20 years. You'll retire someday, Val. Probably not.
I don't know. I look at it and I really believe that there's a level of just fake and false that, oh, you hit an age and then that's it. It's done, and you're forced into this lane of what they call retirement. But it's like, you're so needed. We talk about working with the generations, and that's where we need to go next. My generation needs to work with your generation, and then there's my children's generation. So there's this gap that if we don't bridge it fast, somebody else will, and that's called the system. So we don't want to fall back into that trap. I think that it's so important that these life lessons and the teach just continues on, and that is that's what we are built for, and we're wired for. And if we skip those steps, that's what gets us in trouble. And it shows, as an example, when we're losing 26 vets, that a day that falls on us, that falls on my generation to say, what is going on? Hold on, we're not going to accept that. It's not an option, and we're going to fix this. So we fix it, and we do that by doing. So that's the main thing. We're on a platform today to save lives and to reignite missions.
So nice you bring up the word generations, Val Olson. Generations. If you ever want to learn about the generations or tune in there, just peek at our work for the last 3 years. I've been obsessed with managing the generations. And this is going to be the chat that is more and more as these years progress, because now, imagine that, people are becoming much more educated on the generations, thanks to folks like you and me, actually, Val, to let everybody know. And again, this is kind of for first-time viewers or listeners, but it really applies to these older guys. And, is right now, it's the first time in history, we've got 6 generations in the same workplace. And just to go through them real quick, because a lot of folks aren't clear on it. We have the seniors. Generally, seniors are the older. They're called the greatest generation. They're generally in their 80s. Then you got the baby boomers. Most boomers are in their 60s and 70s right now. And then younger than boomers are Generation X. Generation X, generally in their 40s and 50s. And I've always said Generation X is running the world right now. There are business people, are politicians, all that stuff. Generation X is running by the seat of their pants. And a lot of the people actually that we work with and that I mentor, Val, are Generation X males. The Sheriff Lambs, the Captain McCormicks. I mean, these guys are all Generation X. And then you have younger than that, you got our famous millennials. Most millennials are in their 30s, and younger are the Gen Zs. Gen Zs are late teens now to 27 years old. Gen Zs are the ones that we've been working with. Okay, they're the youngsters. Those are the kids in not only school, college, but trade school. Gen Zs are a lot of our first responders and firefighters and stuff. They're in their 20s. But here you go. Welcome to a continuing mission here in the generations. Younger than Gen Zs are alphas. And alphas, that's been kind of babies and kids up to now. They're turning like 15, 16 years old. They're going to be voting soon. Okay. But alpha generation. And guess what? Guess what? This is not breaking news because we've broken it in the past, Val, but 2025 is a year of a new generation. The babies that we showed you on Sheriff Lamb's photo, including baby Jones, who was just born, they're new generation. They're the beta generation, or as we call it here, the Bravo generation. Their kids born this year. We got a new generation starting. The most important part of all of this is that it sounds cliche, but that we all work together and learn from each other. I'm trying to teach my older baby boomer friends, because a lot of baby boomers think they know it all. Imagine that. But and baby boomers, again, are in their 60s and 70s. And I tell them a lot, don't ever say to a younger person, in my day, we used to do this. In my day, and it can be all the issues. I always say this to them, seriously, because older people, it's our job. It's our task. It's our mission to teach younger generations. I always say to them, based on what I've learned in life and stuff, how it applies to today, to 2025, and you is this. And that's how you turn you teach your lessons. Young people want to, for the most part, learn from older people, and as importantly, older people need to learn from younger people. So we've got all those generations there. I've mentioned it. I don't want to take too much time. I already have, but I learned about the generations by Toyota, where if you don't know who the generations are, they're all wired differently. They are different, and they need to be managed differently. They're motivated differently and stuff. And if you don't do it right, you end up just blowing through people, like a lot of companies are right now. I digress there, but generations is a good chat, and I know there are a lot of listeners and viewers that really haven't heard our chats on that. Val, go ahead, especially younger generation stuff, because you got a couple of kiddos in the household that are baby generations.
I do. And I look at my own upbringing and I think, okay, I want to take the best from that. And I also want to make changes. And so I look at, with my children, what can I do differently and how can I prepare them for down the road, and the world that they're going to inherit, so to speak. How are they going to be equipped? And I think that that's kind of the starting place, that as parents now we need to address that. What is the world going to look like, in 10 or 15 years? And are they going to have the stamina and know how to survive this? Because a lot of the challenges are still the same generation to generation. And, I've been taking some classes on understanding sovereignty, personal sovereignty, and what that means. And so I really see that now as a vital piece in the puzzle of the rebuild of America, of North America for that matter, but to instill and teach what it means to have personal sovereignty. And that is really the inheritance that if we can walk our children and our grandchildren and teach them that it is not a government, but that it is your personal inalienable rights that you have,
Yeah.
that it's not up to someone to allow you or to give you, but this is something that you inherently have, and you will have to fight for this. This is not something that is handed out on a piece of paper. This is something that is instilled in you. So when we can do those kinds of things together, it's going to take all the generations coming around each other and chit-chatting and working and hanging out, and that's how we tackle this beast.
Exactly. And a beast it is. The world is a great big bad place out there. I don't know if I'd want to be a younger person now. That's a silly way to put it. It's not rumination or anything. Real challenges out there, especially this online stuff. And the more we communicate, everyone says this is a communication generation because we got the internet and stuff. The worst communicators people are. I cannot believe it. Don't get me started. We'll have a whole show. That'll be on generations. It's going to be called Return Your Phone Calls and Your Texts. Ghosting is not cool. I mean, that kind of stuff. But that aside, I just really I wanted to take a quick minute and really do thank everybody out there. There's a lot of supporting players, a lot of friends and contacts and stuff that have been involved in this broadcast and this production and dealing with the military in the last 3 years. And I just want to thank every one of you. I don't want to belabor with a long list because again, we'll do that in another show. I want to pull up, I want to just bring up a quick example that when we talked about managing the generations, and it's so important to talk to older people, to talk to the younger generations. It's so important. And I, once again, social media and mentoring and everything else, I was reacquainted with a new friend who's an old friend. His name is Tim Samuels. That's spelled Samuels. Tim Samuels is from Silverdale, Washington. And a 48-year-old business guy. But the way I know him is 25 years ago. We met in the auto industry. I was a manager in beautiful Bremerton, Washington, and he was an entry-level sales guy. An entry sales guy, I mean, probably 23, maybe 24. And he came in because he had just finished his stint in the United States Marines. He's a Marine. He thought he was going to be a Marine going to war. He's got a great story in that Tim was ready and getting ready to be deployed to the first Iraq war. And before they got on the transport, the war ended. The war ended. I'm saying, good for you. That was the same era that Captain McCormick was. And I'm saying, well, good for you. God bless you. But I said, he said, you're still a U.S. Marine craving for war, right? And it turns out, I've been chatting with him, catching up for the last couple of weeks against social media. He's a mortgage broker now. He's a mortgage broker. His 10-7 or his moving on to life is it became a mortgage broker. And his specialty is VA loans in all 50 states. I'm saying, hey, we got a conversation here. Side note too, Val, I won't go too long. I just like meeting these younger people and finding out about them. One of our closest connection is because we are both deaf. We're both hard of hearing. I've lost 2/3 of my hearing, and I'm stubborn enough to not do the hearing aids, because every guy I know that has hearing aids, I got to yell at them because I can't hear anyways. So, but it turns out Tim Samuels, because of his U.S. Marines experience, I think he was in artillery. Hello, he's half deaf, so he actually has a new product out for hearing and stuff that I had never heard of. So again, that's a conversation maybe for another day. But shouting out to guys like him, and as a triple side note, I'm chatting with Tim Samuels a lot because I really wanted him to come on and partner in this channel. There's so many guys out there. I say the VA loans and mortgages. There's so many guys out there that they're not struggling financially. It's they want to learn about the new programs. Hopefully interest rates will be going down. The VA mortgage process used to be a nightmare, but bottom line, Tim Samuels has it figured out. And this is a plug, but not a plug. His name's Tim Samuels. His wonderful wife, Jennifer, awesome partner. He's with Cross Country Mortgage in Silverdale, Washington. Cross Country Mortgage. Phone number, area code 360-205-4630. That's 360-205-4630. And I asked him last week, I said, by the way, Tim, I've got a real network of veterans here. If you ever got, I don't know, let's say 10, 15, 20 loan applications on a Monday morning, VA loans, could you handle them? Yeah. He said, yep, sure. So you might be hearing more of that name. That's kind of just a special shout out, but it's bringing it back to the generations, because I saw this kid. I'm cooing over him here now. But Tim Samuels, he was the most polite, respectful kid at 23 years old. He came out of the U.S. Marines. I was a senior finance manager when he walks through the dealership doors as an entry-level sales guy. But the rapport was, he was so respectful, and he wanted to, imagine this, Val, learn from the older managers rather than fight the older managers. So, and here he is, 48 years old, running, I'm award-winning mortgage broker. And here he is doing his 10-7, his mission, and he probably would have never known it or predicted it. Hey, I'll be a mortgage broker when I get out of the U.S. Marines. But turns out, what a great 10-7. And just to see him succeed, and that's where I've told you so many times on the air, Val, and I know teachers, mentors, coaches, the greatest joy in the world is seeing these kids thrive, not only grow up, but thrive and gain their own, follow their own mission and their own success. It's just, anyhow, I've cooed enough. I've digressed enough, but that's a shout out directly to you, Tim Samuels, Silverdale, Washington. You're a rock star, man. And hopefully you'll get to know the rest of the folks in our network. Can you imagine how James McCormick would go over him? Side note, Wyatt Lamb, Wyatt Lamb's, Sheriff Lamb's youngest son, exactly 23 years old. He's enlisted in the United States Air Force. He's going to be airborne. Another show, Wyatt Lamb. He's the rock star. Anyhow, back to you. Okay. Now we got a true Continue Mission broadcast going. Okay, this photo right in front of you. The gentleman on the left is a little old retired guy, ex-hockey guy. The gentleman on the right, his name is Wyatt Lamb. Wyatt Lamb is the youngest kid of Sheriff Mark Lamb. And if you see kind of a resemblance and or a cockiness, that would be him. The photo, though, Val, you were at this event. This was a couple of years ago at a fundraising event when the sheriff was running for the U.S. Senate. And Wyatt Lamb was there, and as usual in my mentorship, he's Gen Z. We talked. We had a blast. He's kind of the black sheep of the Lamb family. But I said, Wyatt, make sure, let's do a photo op. Look at this. That was that event. But I said, Wyatt, let's do a photo op, you and me. But I want to make sure we get your gun in the photo. We want to make sure you show your gun, because I'm not a gun guy. I tease everybody, right? So look at him right there. You see his gun? And we ended up. Yep. It's so funny. We met at the evening that the election was called, the Senate election, U.S. Senate election, where Mark Lamb sadly lost, but started his new life, his redeployment. Wyatt Lamb was there, but he didn't have his gun on him. And I asked him. I stopped. I said, "Hey, where's your gun, man?" He said, I don't know if it was in the car or he left it at home, but that's Wyatt Lamb. Most importantly, United States Air Force. He's being shipped out in August, so we'll do something there. But well, also 23-year-old rock star is just a great, great kid. And bottom line, Val, you know what? You know what the common denominator of all these young guys? They're squared away. They're polite. They got manners, including my kids. Imagine that, including your kids. Jordan Peterson always says the number one measure of being a parent, especially as you get older, is if your kids are willing to make a phone call to you, they call you, or they want to hang with you. You're a total success as a parent, because so many don't. You're a total success as a parent if your kids love you and still want to talk to you and share ideas and learn as their later years go on. That was a total monologue. Thank you for that, Val. Go ahead. You take the mic for a minute or two.
Lots of nuggets in there. That was really good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a minute and we'll do some house cleaning. Greg Meekin is a man who wears many hats, especially when it comes to radio. Greg Meekin is the producer, the booker, the show prep guy, the host, the guest, the post-show production guy, and yes, the marketing and sales guy. So I'm excited today, Greg. You're dropping some names of maybe perhaps some upcoming guests, but also throwing options out there. Housing is a top priority for our vets when we think of how many are on the street, and there's all kinds of issues. There's health issues. There's mental health issues. There's life. And we do not forget, nor do we just walk by. We have to do something as a starting place. And this is not impossible. There is a certain amount. There is a number, and we are going to take that number head on, and we're going to make a change. So we're not just talking about the 26 dying every day. We're talking about the ones who need help, and they need a place to come. They need a place where they can come and say, this is what's going on, and not be met by, a response email, or they need human connection, and also we need solutions. So we're going to tackle that head on.
And that's what it is. It's called doing, not talking. The 6,000 homeless vets that are going to be off the street in LA, Hegseth, Cap McCormick, those types of guys back that. These are the types of practical things. Save veterans money every month somehow, increase their benefit, lower their cost. Housing. Can you imagine the cost of housing in today's cities right now, Val? I'm retired in Arizona City, Arizona, redeployed. I couldn't afford to live in Seattle. I can afford to live in any big city right now. It's crazy. I almost can't afford to live in Casa Grande, Arizona, where all the prices are going up. So the doing, as far as, okay, let's make it easier to, whether it's buy a house, housing, let's get our interest rates down. Let's increase our health coverage. No waiting time, the crazy waiting times and stuff. There's good out there, but there's also bad out there. And the most important word of the day is do. What do we do about it? And if there's a common theme and a commonality, it's a great word, of everything we do, and I mean you, Val, and Captain James McCormick, and Gordy Kessler, Pastor Nathaniel Rios, Andre Fournier, the whole crowd of AZ48 team members, what we do is we try to do something to improve life, to improve freedom, to help other people's lives. And that's actually our responsibility as older people. I heard something, I'm just going to digress a little because I think it's a cool bit of information. One thing you will remember, it was May, I can't believe I remembered this. It was May 19th, 2022. It was our Secrets from the Inside campfire chat in Arizona City with, again, Sheriff Mark Lamb. And we talked a lot about the generations there. That video, by the way, that's never been released publicly, but it might be soon. It's very cool because it was before he was a sheriff, and it was before the Senate run. And but he had said something that was real poignant. I never forgot it because we were talking about the generations, and he was really well schooled on it. He had said, by the way, millennial guys are some of the fiercest warriors they have. A lot of them acquired their grit from their grandparents and their parents, but they know technology, and everything in the military is not technology. It's a computer war. But Sheriff Lamb said something because he, as you probably know, he deeply respects me as a baby boomer. In my experience, I'm older than him, whether he likes it or not. He's a lot better looking. He has, I have more hair than him though. But and Sheriff Mark Lamb had said that Generation X dropped the ball. Get this. Here's an edgy piece right here, Val. Generation X dropped the ball. That the 1950s handshake world that I talk about a lot, that was the seniors, the greatest generation, and the boomers. We were the ones, obviously, sorry about that, I'm getting passionate. We were the ones that went to public school when it was really cool and it was doing what it was supposed to do. We were the ones that had dinner at 6, mom made dinner at 6 o'clock every night. The baby boomers, those guys, we taught the Gen X's. But somehow, somewhere in between, and Mark Lamb said this, Gen X dropped the ball because for some reason they didn't take on all that knowledge and wealth and experience and stuff and pass it on to basically the millennials or Gen Z. So if that's the case, I would encourage, and I would actually do a call to action to all of our influential Gen X folks out there, both male and female. There's a big difference. It's almost like zodiacs, but it's difference between Gen X male and female and the other ones as well, which you know, Val. But to all the Gen X's out there, that's probably a call to action to maybe serve yourself less and serve others more, or at least spend a good chunk of your day teaching others what you know, because what you know is so priceless because it came from my parents and my grandparents. World War II generation, World War I generation. There's the greatest generation, the older folks. There's also called the lost generation, which is older than them. I had a great grandfather in the lost generation. So if there's a little message there, that's great. I'm kind of ready. I don't know, Val, to kind of wrap up here in this next few minutes. I'd like you to do, as you always do, a really good kind of show summary. You're great at that. And also, once again, where people can find the broadcast. This is going to be 24/7 on multi platforms. So I'll let you kind of take your time here, Val, and do a summary and call to action where folks can find our work. And I'll finish off like I always do, which I always do. And I did it today again, is wake up in kindergarten every day. There's so much to learn and so little time. Because before you know it, you're in grade 1. Thanks, everybody. Back to Val Olson. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday.
So Greg took us back to Dorval High, where he talked about climbing the pegboard and how that's kind of a prerequisite for some of the best, the SAPs. And then we also talked about rapid deployments and that we're thrilled that this is our first broadcast on the Veteran Channel. And we are thrilled to be here alongside with you. We are in my kitchen. We are in Arizona here. And we want to remind you that the Veteran Channel is featured on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, Greg Meekin's YouTube, Rumble, Facebook pages, and dozens of other platforms. So the Veteran Channel airs live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. So if you miss a live show, no worries. There are 24/7 replays all over on multiple platforms. But this is your space, your home space, where we come together and we address what's going on from my house to the White House. And we are behind the scenes. We are at meetings. We are following Captain James, who's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. So this show is going to be about delivering results. As we learned today, there might be some housing incentives that are easy to access. Greg is working on some of that behind the scenes. So we just thank you for watching and sharing. And also don't forget Sheriff Lamb's brand new book, 10-7 is out. So you can find that on Amazon. And you can also go to his website, americansheriff.com. So that does it for today. Greg, any parting words, or are we just going to sign off here? Oh, let me turn your mic on.
Don't you love that? I do it once a show. It's great. All I could say is God bless everybody. All we have is today. Just enjoy your day. Try to relax, decompress. I know a lot of people are working and stressed and stuff, but if you can, take a minute just for yourself. I call it Tesla time. Like Tesla said, quiet time just in your head. No social media, no phones, whatever. And just take a break in life. Take the pressure off yourself and try to enjoy every single day, because that's all we've got is today. Thanks, Val.
Welcome to Continue Mission Radio with Captain James McCormick. By veterans, for veterans. Guest hosts tonight are author Greg Meekin and Miss Val, our military radio gal. Continue Mission starts now.